So this kind of leads into our last topic, Rick, and that is the dangers of having a promiscuous lifestyle. And I'm talking about all the stuff you see nowadays. You have all these apps like Tinder, and I can't even name them. But I'll give you an example. A buddy of mine, I haven't seen him in a few years. He was in town. We met up for lunch, and he's showing me his phone. And he's like, Steve, check this out. He's like got 6 different dating apps, including Tinder and whatever all the apps are. And he's like going through them, and he's showing me all the girls that he's talking to back and forth. And literally he travels a lot for his work. So he'll go into a town and he'll go on those apps and start messaging women while he's in town, and they'll message him back, and he'll set up dates and stuff. So let's talk about like this promiscuous lifestyle that we see some people do. And is it wise? What are the risk factors? So the 2 biggest risk factors, I think, is the STD risk, number 1, and number 2, knocking up a girl. And now you're gonna be stuck with child support for 18 years. That's right off the bat. And that happens all the time. Just turn on Maury, and you can see those situations. Heck, if you turn on Maury, you'll see a woman bring on like 5 different men to test them because she doesn't even know who the father is. So I mean, there's a huge risk factor in doing that. Rick, what are your thoughts on this? And what are some of the things you think has been going on to cause this?
There are several dangers to having a promiscuous lifestyle and not trying to settle down or giving yourself a chance to settle down with a person for an extended period of time. There's definitely the health aspects. That's very important because not every disease can be prevented with a condom, the stuff that can get right around it. So that's always a concern. As well as the heartache of it all. Any guy that's been a womanizer can tell you that he might have a hard time listening to sad songs. It's actually a song about it, I think. There's the heartache of it all because when you lie, when you cheat, it's hard to not get attached to people. And there's that aspect of it. And then there's the aspect of like people that actually engage in like straight up prostitution where they, go and pick up prostitutes and things like that. The health hazards in that situation are pretty tough, I think, because I think most regular people out there, if they're having some kind of STD issue or some kind of outbreak or something, they're probably withhold from having sex with anybody, but if that's their job, if they're a sex worker and they've got something going on, they're going to keep working. So definitely prostitution is not a good thing at all for anybody to engage in out there. What else you got, Steve?
What do you think about people who are trying to get into fitness or bodybuilding? They're trying to monetize, that lifestyle by doing like the webcam, the gay for pay, stuff like that. Boston Lloyd, who we've had on the podcast like 3 times, he actually started his own gay for pay site. I don't think it did well, but what do you think about that? Do you think what's your advice for guys who do that or who want to get into that? Do you think that's a trajectory to disaster, or do you think, hey, you got to make some money the way you can?
The webcam, I actually don't think it's that bad at all because there's no other people involved there, right? So there's no chance of disease. You're supposed to be a drug-free environment, like these webcam things, I guess, right? I don't know, but I have less of an issue, I think, with webcam than I do with straight prostitution because the chances of disease are less, and just the drug use with prostitution is not bueno, it's no good. But webcam, I guess there is no physical contact. One person's making some money and the other person is fulfilling their time, their fantasy, their loneliness a little bit maybe. I think the one that's worse off is the guy paying, looking at this cam, making this a part of their life to ask people to do weird shit on the other side of a camera. It's I guess it's a way to have some control, because when you meet people in the real world that you try to get to be your mate or partner, there is no control. But when you have porn, you could select your title, your gender, your style, your type. Now with this webcam, you have it kind of custom made for you. So you have total control over that point of gratification, over your sexual, over your orgasm, over your sexuality there, right? Where when you're out trying to get some nookie or trying to get your significant other to act a certain way, could be tough. It could maybe never happen. So I guess I don't see that the webcam that bad unless people are on there hurting themselves, or maybe people are having dangerous types of sex on webcam. That's fucked up. But if it's just a dude in his bedroom with a dildo and another dude or girl with her dildo and somebody's paying the other on a webcam, I mean, I don't, it's sexual gratification without communicable diseases coming into the equation. That's why I don't see that much of a problem with it.
Here's a thing though. I'll take it a different route. Like I watched a show about this. They were a couple, and this guy like was very frustrated in his marriage because his wife, he'd come home from work and his wife would have the webcam all set up and she'd be like half naked. She'd be like, all right, we got to do our show. So he come home from work and he's basically has sex with his wife on the camera so she can monetize it. But there's like nothing. There's like no romance. Like literally every time they have sex, it has to be on camera so it can be monetized. So, I mean, what's the trajectory? Over the long, do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's really kind of shitty, like, that he can't just have sex with his wife, like, in private and just make love to her, but he has to actually do it on camera all the time. It's kind of like a boxer, you know what I'm saying, who has to be on pay-per-view. He can't just go box on his own. It's just for recreation. It's always got to be for money. So I think from that aspect, it's kind of, it can be a bad thing, just to get into that habit of always having to monetize everything you do sexually,
Buddy, I fuck for free, man. If I was going to get paid to be watched, why not? But seriously, I mean, that's a very unique situation. I don't know how many people are really trying to make money on the webcam. That's a very unique situation. It's a very unique situation. For the most part, I don't think any of us like anybody watching us having sex. We'd like to be private. So that's a very unique situation. What you mentioned there with the webcam lady. But yeah, money comes into the equation, bro. Like if you need some bread and you're somewhat marketable in some degree and people want to see you, why the hell not, dude? You know what I mean?
I think you have to consider long term. Where is this leading? Like long term, like the trajectory. Do you really think you're going to be able to, go on a webcam and do your thing like forever? At some point, you're going to have to transition to something else. But who knows? Maybe What
if your kids find it? What if your kids' classmates find it? What if all these things? All this stuff is worth mentioning. When it's a person doing stuff with inanimate objects and then the other person is getting gratification and pain, there's still sexual, but there is no dangers. There's no exchange of fluids. There's no, nasty places, drugs involved, like I said. And if one of the two people are on drugs, both don't need to be, it's not, the other one's not touched by it. It's different. So that's just my opinion on it. I don't see a big deal with webcam. I think, look, it's still not great that this is part of your sexuality to watch somebody on webcam. Not ideal, but it's actually healthier than driving down the block at night looking for a date. That's kind of fucked up.